And it is a wonderfully mild, dry day in the capital city. We'll have comments from the coaches in a moment.
Two things. Turnovers, number one. Whoever doesn't turn it over has got an extremely good chance to win the game. And then who are going to make the big plays? In big games where you've got some great athletes playing on both sides of the football, who are going to make the big play? How's a big play going to be made? And what team is going to make it?
Two things. One, that self controls, and one that maybe the other controls. Big play capability. They've got so many big play capability people on their team. You're scared they're going to break out any minute. That's one, big play. The other is the old bugaboo mistakes. If one of us makes a lot of mistakes, we've had it. You can't survive this game with a lot of mistakes.
There are several individual matchups in the ball game today. In fact, so many you can't talk about all of them. But they'll be the thread as we weave the fabric in this college football tapestry, one that shall be remembered for a long time. One matchup involves Florida State running back Ant Lee and middle linebacker Michael Barrow for Miami.
Not sound arrogant or anything, but I think matched up against a linebacker, I can beat most linebackers, not to take anything away from him, but I think I can beat, not only him, but other linebackers also.
And I think the thing that you got to avoid with Ant Lee is that if you sit back and wait, he's just going to shake you out of your shoes. You have to just take it to him. You have to just go up there and put face mask to face mask.
The series record, and yes, Michael's name was spelled correctly, but you can see Miami has won 5 of the last 6. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. Here at Florida State University campus, the number 1 Seminoles against the number 2 Hurricanes. Looking at the two teams with Miami receiving, we'll see them on offense. Here are the Miami strengths.
They have big playability. They got 3 wide receivers in at all times, and that is the thing that Miami does best. And for Florida State, big plays. They've given up a lot of big plays on defense, but they also have run 4 interceptions back for touchdowns. They got big plays going both ways.
Florida State right now is introducing its seniors. That's going to take a couple of minutes. Chief Osceola on Renegade, waiting to slam the spear into the ground in the center of the stadium. And this symbol, this meaning, has been endorsed by the Seminole tribe and its officials. But when that spear goes into the ground, that means we are at war. It's kind of interesting that the Miami Hurricanes have all had their backs turned to the chief and the horse. Here's Jack Arute. He's down there among them.
Well, Keith, there's some late-breaking news from the locker room of the Florida State Seminoles. Casey Weldon woke up this morning with a case of laryngitis. When he talks at a normal level, he's okay. And he said, when I raise my voice, like I'd have to check off at the line, I lose it completely. They're going to go to hand signals. They've used both before. But it's not very good to come into a big game without your voice.
Certainly isn't. But these are the little things that sometimes become a problem. Here's Chief Osceola. Here comes the paint swappers. And this is a game where these kids know each other. There are no mysteries between these two football teams. It's just a matter of who's going to do what when.
Like neighbors, Keith, they know each other very well. A lot of these kids went to school together, played in high school against each other. And Miami has not been too intimidated by the Chief because the last 11 times they've played up here, they've won 9 games on this field.
The anticipation for this game has been so thick. As you see, Dennis Erickson and the remarkable record he has in his 3rd season at Miami. Came out of the Pacific Northwest. But the build-up to this ball game has been so flavorful that you almost hate to let it go. Play the game.
You've got to play it, though. You've got to get rid of it. I mean, it's right.
Kevin Williams returns it. Remember, we saw him against Penn State. He took a punt back 91 yards. Darrell Spencer will be back there with him. He also is a flyer. And Dan Mowry, the redshirt freshman from Tallahassee, will kick it off. You want all of your pins in the right place for a ball game like this. Apparently, everybody has accomplished it. Mowry is going to kick it off. The referee for the ball game is Dale Phillips. We play on real grass, and they don't want Kevin Williams to put his hands on the opening kick. It is received, fair caught, back at the 26-yard line by Casey Greer. Gino Torretta, who has been the long ball for Miami since he took over as the starting quarterback, and his only loss was at Florida State in 1989. But he does throw the ball down the field, and he throws it to burners like Copeland, Spencer, and Thomas, and Williams when he's in there. And Coleman Bell, the tight end, is a new name that you probably haven't seen before if you're in a different part of the country than the South. So here's your first play of the ball game. The Miami Hurricanes from the 26. The ball is swung out to McGuire. He's got some room to work. And the big guy from Brooklyn is all the way out to the 40-yard line, and it's a first down for Miami, a pickup of 14 yards. They do stretch you laterally. The big people up front to protect Torretta today, and they must protect Torretta today if the Canes are to win this ball game. Kevin Williams checks into the backfield. Number 5. You want to know where he is at all times. He's now in motion. No backs in the backfield. Torretta back to throw it. He's got Williams over the middle. Hit off his hands. Thrown too hard. A penalty flag is thrown meantime as Florida State is going to be dinged for roughing the quarterback. Number 96, James Cheney, was in pounding on Torretta, and I think he's the man that initiated the flag.
Keith, this is something interesting here. Here's Williams right here. Normally a wide receiver started out of the backfield. Now he's going to come in motion. The linebacker, the inside linebacker, it was Jones, has to come out and cover him. This would be a great matchup all day for Miami. Wide open to the inside. There's no way that a linebacker, Jones, can cover Kevin Williams, one of the fastest players in this ballgame.
The ball was thrown hard and off the hands of Williams by Torretta, whose heart's pumping at a pretty good pace, too. And incomplete, but the 15-yard personal foul penalty, a dead ball foul. There's no question about acceptance. It comes down to the 44. He is on the Florida State side of the field now, and McGuire is back in there at the running back position and has the ball and has daylight. He has a big game. He's inside the 15, first down for Miami. Florida State's people just overran the play, and all of a sudden it opened up.
Take a look from the end zone. It's just a stretch play. FSU overruns it with their linebacker. Some good blocks there by Searcy. The safety, Fowler, number 3, comes up too quickly. And Miami, who has not run the ball that well all year, starts out very well in the first drive.
First down, just inside the 15-yard line for the Canes. Give it back to McGuire, and he'll pick up a couple of yards, and that's all. The defense of Florida State being tested right now. Oskrzewski, Cheney, Simpson listed as the 3 down, but actually they play a 4-man and sometimes a 5-man front with Palmer and Simpson going down. Marvin Jones, the linebacker, is the leader of that big bunch. Terrell Buckley has been scintillating in the secondary at the corner position for Florida State. They give him a couple of yards on the carry. McGuire has picked up 31 yards so far in this first possession. Torretta rolls it out, goes to the sidelines, and goes out of bounds at just about the line of scrimmage, which would be the 13-yard line. Carl Simpson was the man who ran him out. That time, Florida State did not give Torretta much time to take a look around the end zone.
And everybody was covered, Keith. Now, here's a look at what Miami has done inside the 20-yard line. Amazing. 47 times they've been inside the 20. They've scored on 36 of them.
Now the speedsters Spencer and Williams come to the backfield for Miami. Spencer goes up into a slot as a wide receiver, and again, Williams goes in motion. No backs behind Torretta. Got some room, takes off for the corner, won't get there. Penalty flag, they've thrown the flag again as Torretta was hit, having crossed the line. That's a pretty narrow call that time, I thought, because the defender was coming up in a hurry and committed himself, trying to keep him out of the corner of the end zone. But it's a personal foul call against Florida State. The second time it's been called in this possession.
An extra dimension for Miami. You've got 4 receivers out. Everyone is covered. Torretta, with his ability, doesn't scramble a lot. Clearly out of bounds when the man makes the play. It's Fowler hitting him out of bounds, and the official right there throwing the flag.
Pretty hard to stop midair.
It is. It's tough to stop your momentum, but you've got to be alert that the quarterback may run out of bounds, and you've got to be ready to pull up.
They're now trying to determine exactly where it was. Gino went out of bounds. It's going to be around the 2. That's where they put the ball. It's first down and goal to go for the Miami Hurricanes. So Florida State's defensive people have come out with the chin straps pretty tight. They have been flying around, and they've been in the wrong place. As Miami has come out very calmly and very coolly and put things together. They're knocking on the door. Give it to McGuire. He's short. He's got a touchdown. He was inside the pile and rolled into the end zone. The late call says 6.
First down inside the 5-yard line, about the 3. Good hit there by Carruthers behind the line of scrimmage, but he gets into the end zone.
Carlos Whitta had 157 consecutive extra points in the Oklahoma State game. He just calmly walked in after missing another one and popped this one through to start another streak. And so the Hurricanes go to the lead, 7-0. Our total 33 yards in that possession. There were 2 personal fouls called against the Florida State defense. The shrinks now as Florida State will get the ball.
Florida State, a great running game. They also score. They're the number 3rd team in the nation in scoring, but Miami leads the nation in scoring defense. So it'll be a battle. Miami just allowing 7 points on defense. Florida State averaging 41.
Number 33 is Tiger McMillan waiting to receive the kick. Back there with him is Felix Harris, number 24. Huerta will kick it off for Miami. Seminoles need to respond now as the Hurricanes have gone down and scored in their first possession. They got some help from the nose. This is at the 2-yard line for Harris. And he's out near the 24, where he is taken down. So Casey Weldon coming to the ball yard today with a case of laryngitis. But the numbers down at the bottom tell you something about it. Only 6 interceptions versus 21 touchdowns. He is the leader of this offensive unit. Amp Lee, the tailback, can be brilliant on the slippery running backs anywhere. Edgar Bennett, the solid man. The wide out ball, pretty good. Lonnie Johnson, a very dependable tight end. So here come the Noles with their first play of this day. And it is an historic day for them. This is the first time they've ever been involved in the game, involving 1 and 2. Amp Lee. That's what I mean. He is a very, very difficult fellow to get a hold of. There ain't no handles on him. Herbert James brought him down. Here's the offensive front for Florida State. Now, they run about 271-pound average. That's about 13 pounds heavier than the defensive front of the Miami Hurricanes. Kevin Mancini has come off of a torn ligament to regain the starting position, with Mike Morris going from tackle back to guard, his normal position. First down on the first play of the game. The Seminoles. Ball is just over the 35. Goes back to Nancy, and this time Miami's quickness shows up, and there's a loss of about a yard. Medeiros and Miller in on the tackle. The defensive unit for Miami, it features Rusty Medeiros, who is their best pass rusher. Darren Smith, an honor-seeking linebacker inside. Really tough guy. He's the anchor. The secondary for the Canes is a good one. They're all relatively equal ability. The one thing that distinguishes them, they can run. I guess you can't play football at Miami if you can't run. Weldon gives it back to Lee. That little quickness, that little juke, that little step. And you got a penalty flag thrown back up the field, with a couple of fellas getting into a bit of a scuffle. Kevin Patrick, 86, defensive end for Miami. One of those involved, along with Robbie Baker, I think it was. Dale Phillips now, the referee, looks like he might be in for a busy day, at least until such time emotion subsides just a little bit. They're talking to Michael Barrow, number 56, the linebacker. The penalty is going against the Seminoles.
So look at Rusty Medeiros, 98. It's Mancini, number 67.
Whoa.
Now,
That ain't hard to legal, is it?
I mean, that's a move that a lot of offensive tackles will use. If you get it up around the head, it'll be a penalty. But if it's down around the shoulder pad or the arm area, it's all right. You're just trying to help the end upfield. You're usually running a draw inside on that play.
I do not think, however, that was the penalty.
No, it was not.
Yes.
The penalty was a hold.
Yes. So that backs them up to the 23-yard line. That's the third flag against Florida State in this ballgame. Here comes Edgar Bennett up the middle with it. Edgar's a 6'1", 210-pound senior from Jacksonville. Very, very good pass receiver, and he works in that short zone where the linebackers hang out.
Darren Smith, number 45, the best player defensively on the Miami team. Came in with a little bit of a hip problem. Strained hip, stays his ground, fights off the blocker. Not many people can bring Amp Lee down, but Darren Smith just did one-on-one.
Third down. They need 20. Blitz comes. Weldon stands in. Got a lot of green in front of him. Pulls it down and takes off. He won't pick up his first down. He gets it back to about the original line of scrimmage, the 36-yard line. Now the Seminoles are going to have to punt it away. And the man who will be called upon to do that is Scott Player. He hasn't had a real big year. He's averaging right at 39 yards per kick, and sometimes is thrown to kick it low on a line drive. And if you kick a low line drive, and you got this fellow standing back there waiting for it, I mean, it's grab the China.
Well, Bowden kicked away from him on the kickoff. Let's see what they do on the punts.
Well, he tried to kick it away from him. Williams goes back at the 20, takes it on the bounce. First man missed him. Second man missed him. Third man gets a hold of him, and now three more take him down. It's a 45-yard punt, and it's an 8-yard return with 10:03 to go in the first quarter, and Miami ready for their second possession. Seminoles have a hard time against the Miami Hurricanes. Here comes Miami now. Trips to the bottom of the screen. Three wideouts. Kevin Williams is in the backfield behind Torretta. Now they got four wideouts. The ball can fly, and Torretta back to throw it. He goes for Williams. He's got double coverage. He drops the football. It was on his hands, and he slams his hand down on the ground. Frustrated he didn't make the catch because the ball was there.
In the linebacker coverage, just what he wanted. Take a look at the Hurricane quick strike offense this year. It's just unbelievable. 35 of their drives have taken less than 3 minutes. And you can see there the number of drives have taken less than 2 minutes and 1 minute. First drive took 1 minute and 53 seconds to score. And here's how they've done this year in the first quarter.
McGuire cuts into the backfield behind Coretta now. They say in that trip to the bottom of the picture, swing it out to McGuire. He's out there one-on-one. Little quick move, and he got around the defender and picked up something out of nothing, really. He just stepped right by number 89, Howard Dinkins.
When that back motion's out of the backfield, Keith, that they call it a no back, he's getting a Dinkins, a linebacker, or the inside linebacker, Carruthers or Jones, the covering. Miami will take that matchup all day long.
Spencer leaves. Williams back. Williams is in there next to the ball among the wideouts. He's closest to the ball. Coretta getting quicker, and they've got him. 45, Kirk Carruthers, their first blitz of the day, and it pays big dividends.
Carruthers right up the middle. The center trying to get over there. It's just a miscommunication. He bumps him for a second. Coretta obviously thought that the man was going to be blocked. Two men were blocking one defensive man, and Carruthers came free.
Paul Snyder, whose average is just under 40. Pumps it out of there. Gets a good spin on it. Gets a good carry on it to Terrell Buckley. Buckley's got a little room. And this is up to the 41-yard line. 40-yard punt. Florida State will go to work, trailing by 7. Okay, it's Florida State's football. First down at their own 41-yard line, Miami leading by a score of 7-0. Seminoles have made a lot of mistakes here in this first quarter. They've been the tighter team. Casey Weldon gets a little pressure, gets the pass away. The pass is incomplete. It is overthrown, and there was solid coverage by Miami's Ryan McNeil on Shannon Baker. Shannon Baker, number 1, is the flyer out of the wide receiver position for the Seminoles.
You mentioned that Florida State has been the tighter team. I think that's a good point. And one of the reasons may not be obvious, maybe a contradiction, because playing at home in front of your own fans, sometimes you can be a little tight because everybody expects you to do so well. Miami, on the other hand, knows they're here by themselves, just the players. They can be freewheeling and be loose, and they've jumped out in front.
They show blitz. Armstead started trying to anticipate. Now has to withdraw, but he's still going to go, and they run empty up the middle. When you blitz, you leave some daylight behind where the linebackers normally work. Early Brown and Darrell Williams, the safeties, have to step up and occupy the territory. They're close to a first down on Lee's carry.
One of the things that Bobby Bowden said coming into the ballgame is that Miami blitzed more last year against the Seminoles than he's seen them, and they've continued that defensive strategy this year. He said when Jimmy Johnson was at Miami, he never would blitz.
It is 3rd down and 1.
Casey, he has not lost in 15 starts. Started at the beginning, the middle of last year, and has won every ballgame.
Working today with a sore throat. Mild case of laryngitis. Pitch it to Lee. Penalty flag is down. Came from the umpire. Could be a holding call. Hang on. That is a first down. Good run by Lee. Good blocking by the front, but it may come back. Holding. That is the 4th major penalty by Florida State.
Mancini, 67.
Well, he's been out now. He had the sore knee and the torn ligament. He's had a remarkable recovery, but he's not game sharp.
There was some question, a lot of question, as to whether or not he would play, even dress for this ball game. He is their biggest offensive lineman, and that was a very big penalty. Goes from a first down back to a 3rd and long.
The ball was sitting over right around the Miami 40-yard line. So it goes from first down to 3rd down and 14. Because remember the rules this year, you are penalized from one foul on holding and clipping. So let's see if Casey Weldon will air it out here. He's got 3 wideouts. Yep. Good coverage too, but he lets it go. And it is incomplete. There's your flag. You had double coverage back there with Hurley Brown and Ryan McNeil, and they did a pretty good job on Shannon Baker. And the back judge watched it for a while and finally said, well, now that's a little too much, and he threw the flag. So a penalty call against Miami now is going to help Florida State keep the football.
We have pass interference on the defense. First down.
The Hurricanes are in a 2-deep zone, and Baker is just going to get deep on the inside safety. That's Brown. He's going to knock him right here. He's going to knock him off. He falls into him. It's a good call by Bowden because 3rd and 15, you want to get it downfield, give yourself a chance. Dennis Erickson doesn't like it, but it's a first down for the Seminoles.
At the Miami 48-yard line. Miami leading in the ball game off their opening possession, 7-0. This is the 4th time Miami has been involved in a football game involving number 1 and 2. It is the first time for Florida State. Casey Weldon rolls out and gets a little more room, a little more time, runs out of time. Armstead, number 1, was blocked, bounced up from it, and joined Rusty Medeiros to make the tackle on the Florida State quarterback. Monday night ABC Sports offers the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins down in Joe Robbie Stadium. Dolphins have won 2 in a row, and the Bills, well, you know about them. Live action begins at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, ABC's Monday Night Football. Loss on the play, back to near the 47. Second down and 15. Weldon goes the other way, gets his pass off. He's got Amp Lee down there. He's got it inside the 5. Hurley Brown stopped the touchdown, but it's first and goal to go Florida State.
Amp Lee was flanked outside the split receiver. The split receiver went down and ran about a 10-yard curl, and Lee kept going. Weldon rolls out to get a little bit more time to throw, takes a hit by Crine. The ball is delivered, and it's a great throw considering under the pressure he was under.
That is the longest pass completion against the Miami Hurricanes this season, 51 yards. First down and goal to go, Florida State at the 2.
Miami has not allowed a touchdown in the first half this year. Look what Florida State has done inside the 20.
Leave of the ball. Great play by Hurley Brown, the strong safety. Number 8 came flying in and just made a terrific defensive play.
You're seeing some of the reasons why they haven't given up a touchdown in the first half. Speed is number 1, but quickness, aggressiveness off the line and getting across the line of scrimmage and into the offense's area, territory, side of the line of scrimmage is one of the reasons why Erickson's team has not given up a touchdown in the first half.
Let's see if they stay with a power I set.
Bobby wants a timeout.
Don't call it. Casey Weldon stands up to throw it. Now gets it off, and it is incomplete. He just sort of threw that one away. It was in the general vicinity of Kes McCourty. Now it is third down and goal for Florida State. Florida State's place kicking field goal unit has sort of been by committee this year. It has not been a particularly outstanding facet of the team.
Well, it was really the only weakness on the team earlier in the year, but now they've got a field goal kicker, Thomas, that has had some success, making 5 of the last 6 field goals. But they're not thinking field goal here. They want a touchdown.
Third and goal from the 7. Pressure coming backside. Weldon throws it back the other way. Dropped by Lonnie Johnson, the tight end. The ball was underthrown as Weldon turned back to let the ball go. Kevin Patrick was just right in his face, and the pass was a little bit short.
Well, you know, Bobby Bowden has barnyard plays, and that may have been a half a barnyard play, but what it says is he didn't have anything better on third down to get the ball into the end zone this early in the ballgame. It makes you wonder about his offense inside the 5-yard line against the Hurricanes.
25-yard field goal try by Jerry Thomas is good. And so the Seminoles will get it on the board. 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. It is now Miami 7 and Florida 3. Bobby Bowden had this comment among many this past week about playing in the game as number 1.
I love it. I mean, it's fun. It's stimulating. You don't have to worry about getting your kids up. They don't either, you know. But the fact is, you emotionally, your kids can't go through this very often, you know. And if it wasn't for the emotion and the injury, you'd like it every Saturday, nearly.
He might be a tad cranky right now, though, because they didn't get it in the end zone. But
it's a little bit surprising, Keith, on that call, because that was a little bit of a trick play. The tight end blocked and fell down and then ran all the way opposite the way the quarterback was rolling out. And
it's a slow play.
Yeah. Well, and you're trying to trick somebody. You're not trying to beat him with your talent. You're trying to trick him.
You just can't. You don't have time against that kind of speed and quickness. That's a high hanger. It'll be a Miami ball, 21-yard line. Here's Roger Twibell in New York.
Thank you very much, Keith. Indiana at Ohio State, and from 11 yards out, Trent Green looking in the end zone. There are 2 men over there, and Rod Coleman's going to make the catch. The extra point was no good, and Indiana leads Ohio State 6-0. Let's go back to Tallahassee.
There are the numbers on the Florida State possession. Miami ball, first down at their own 21-yard line. Coretta gives it to McGuire. McGuire gets away again. There's a penalty flag thrown, and the Seminoles run him down and take him down at the 17-yard line. There's flags all over the place. When emotion is as high as it has been for some time for this game, you're going to get a lot of flags thrown very often.
But by now, the players should have calmed down a little bit. They've both been in a couple of times.
Red holding for the offense. 10 yards.
Let's check in with Jackaroo.
Well, Keith, our first major injury of importance, number 55, Marvin Jones, won't be back on defense at least for the remainder of this quarter. He was poked in the eye. He's got blurred vision. They've taken him to the locker room. They're icing it down and washing it out. They do hope to have him back in the second quarter.
Whoa. That is a major loss for the Florida State defense. That puts Ken Alexander, 240-pound sophomore from Austin, Texas, in that position. They accept the penalty, move it back to first down and 22. And Larry Jones, the big guy, is in there for Miami. He is a load. Toretta stands up on the fake, throws to Coleman Bell, number 17. He's a 6'2", 225-pound flyer, masquerading as a tight end.
He's caught 9 balls in the last 2 ball games, so he's on a roll. The Hurricanes have won the last 7 meetings against a number 1 ranked team. That is pretty special. The Canes come in here very confident.
Flag again, and it's coming back, and I think this one is a personal foul, so Miami now is getting into the personal foul gig. Florida had 2 called against them, Florida State did, in the first possession by Miami, and now the Canes are going to get 1.
Well, a personal foul. That's half the distance. Still be first down.
So that first down will be 23 yards now as the ball comes on back inside the 5 through the 4. Jones, that big 245-pound running back with the ball, comes out across the 10. All at the 11. So he picks up 7 yards on the carry at 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Larry Jones will play a lot before he is finished. He is a freshman. He is from Gainesville, where the Gators live. Second down and 20. Toretta moves him around. Probably changed the play. Pumps it, lets it go. No good. He threw it on a line intended for Horace Copeland, and Horace could not turn back in and run it down. It'll be third down and 20.
What they're trying to do is work on Terrell Buckley. Here's Buckley right here. You may remember him. He's intercepted 3 touchdowns and running back, 3 interceptions and running back. It's a little out and up. They're trying to get him a little fake, a little hitch right there. Buckley reacts and then jams the receiver. It's all right in college as long as the ball is not in the air. Trying to get something big on Buckley.
Convert here or give it up. No blitz. Toretta lets it go down the middle of the field. It is incomplete. Copeland running with John Davis. They got a little tangled up, but no flag. And Miami now will have to punt. Florida State should get pretty good field position out of this. Buckley will go back to accept the punt from Paul Snyder. Snyder's first kick today was a 45-yarder. Buckley has great speed. High kick. What a knuckling. Fair catch called by Buckley, but the ball is kicked well away from him. And it trickles away and goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line. It was a 46-yard punt. At the conclusion of today's game, Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team, chosen 21st year that Chevrolet has participated in the scholarship program, giving $1,000 to each of the universities. Goes to the general scholarship fund. So Florida State, last time they had the ball, they went down, settled for 3. See what happens here. Matt Fryer, Eric Terrell check in. At wide positions, Florida Seminoles.
Florida State has done on first down, 1 pass out of 5 plays.
Weldon is 1 out of 4 for 51 yards. The completion to Amp Lee. I remember Fryer showed up big in the Syracuse game last time we were here. A big day. Up man, Bennett. He got a pretty good greeting from Patrick Riley. Time remaining first quarter now and even 3 minutes.
Riley, who made that tackle, a true freshman. The Hurricanes really do not have any big defensive tackles in the middle of that line. That's why Florida State likes to take advantage running up the middle. They don't have the big linemen that they used to have. Russell Maryland, Cortez Kennedy, Jerome Brown, all first-round draft choices who have since gone on to play in the National Football League.
Second down, 11. Weldon gets it off. They've got a screen set up for Amp Lee, they thought. But Michael Barrows just came like a runaway wagon and belted it. He went right between the blockers and nailed him at the 44-yard line.
Well, you heard Michael Barrow at the beginning of the telecast saying that he was going to try and be right with Amp Lee the entire ball game, and certainly was on that screenplay.
It'll be third down at about 14 now. As we go inside 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. They've just about quit their dancing now. They're starting to lay some licks on each other. settling down to play the game. Pressure on. Passes away quickly to Terrell, but he's got no place to go because the blockers never got to him to help him. And so as a result, it is fourth down. Florida State has a very poor possession for them. Good one, however, for the Canes because their defensive people were really flying around. Again, Scott Clair has to kick to Kevin Williams. He hasn't yet. Williams came over and ran it down. This time he aims it right at him and lets it go, and it's a tail dragger that takes a sharp kick out of bounds up at the 22-yard line. So at 1:03 to go in the first quarter, the Florida State Seminoles give it up to Miami at the 22. 35 yards on that punt with no return. Dennis Erickson, talking earlier this week, was asked, is it easier to be number 2 chasing number 1? He said.
When it comes to this game, I really don't believe that it makes any difference. It's as you go through the season, it's a little harder being number 1. However, at the University of Miami, every time we play, regardless of whether we're 1 or 2 or 3, they take their best shots at us as we get to this game. Now it doesn't make any difference.
Pass intended for Darrell Spencer is incomplete. Off his hands, up the middle. Again, they send those fellas right into the middle, trying to force Florida State to cover him with a linebacker.
Well, Spencer could have caught that ball. He saw some defensive backs coming and decided that he was going to look at them and not the ball, and actually could have caught it.
Both quarterbacks off to a relatively slow start. Toretta now is 2 of 7 for 19 yards. Florida State, in case you don't know it, has been ranked number 1 the entire season. On top all year. This is the big guy. Loses the football. Florida State recovers the fumble. They stripped it away from McGuire. Ostazuski covered it.
It's the draw play. Jones thinks he's got a nice hole. Ostazuski, 75, spins around and knocks the ball out. Nice play, ground level. Ostazuski, number 75, spins out.
That's Joe.
Jones doesn't even see him. Jones thought he had a clear sailing through the interior line.
Joe Ostazuski knocked it out. Henry Ostazuski recovered it. Big twin brother.
Twins, yeah.
290 each. Florida State has the football, making a break for themselves at the Miami 24. Casey Weldon back. Gets his pass off down the middle. It is caught inside the 5-yard line by Edgar Bennett. I told you he was a great pass receiver down where the heavy hitters work. And there's a good example of what he can do for you.
Well, here's what they like to do. Bennett is here. They're going to slide him right down the middle of the field. The 2 safeties will split. Play action to the deep man. Helps hold the linebackers. Bennett slides down. That's probably as well as that play has been covered most of the year. The 2 safeties of Miami react well. Bennett, an outstanding receiver.
And it's first down and goal to go, just inside the 5. With Antley and Edgar Bennett setting up in the backfield. And now they take off their hats and they'll rest as Florida State talks timeout. And we'll pause 5 seconds right here to allow our ABC station to tell you who they are.
This is WTV Channel 9 Orlando.
23 seconds to go in the first quarter. Florida State in the timeout threatening. Let's spend a moment with Jack Arute.
Well, Keith, you watched that terrific catch by Edgar Bennett. One would think that he would collect trophies and memorabilia from his exploits on the field. But when we visited him in his dormitory room, he collects stuffed animals. He says he has over 60 of them that he collects, and he's done this for about 4 years.
Right now, his coach and teammates want him to stuff that thing in the end zone. You can see the numbers on Bennett's running in 1991. His catching has been the more obvious and more prominent success story for him. Do you think this is a series now? Is this where Bobby Bowden decides to just belly up and try to show him that they can stuff it in there?
Well, he's going to run what is best. If first down, he feels like he's got a pass play that he can throw it in. This is the best play to throw when you're inside the 5-yard line. But he may also have some other tricks up his sleeve.
And he may just step up there and give the ball to Ant Lee and let him go 3 times.
Lee is not a power runner. The defense will be very aggressive. And slow developing stuff, misdirection stuff is not that good down here. Here's a comparison to quarterbacks. Weldon hitting the long pass to Ant Lee to get a lot of that yardage. Shows a lot to his backs. The big catch there by Edgar Bennett. Bennett's 90th career catch was that last pass he caught from Weldon.
Pryor and Terrell stay in the ball game. Shannon Baker is not out there. Starter at that flanker position.
Hurricane defense, number 1 in the nation against the scoring. It's against points.
Florida State trying to change that right here on first down and goal just inside the 5. It's ample lead of a 2. Picked up 3 yards on the carry. So he had a pretty good sized hole over the left side, but he never really got his shoulders turned and his head turned toward the goal line.
Well, that's the problem running sideways when the defense is so aggressive across the line of scrimmage. You may have a hole for a second, but there's always going to be a linebacker or a defensive back to fill it.
Paul Moore, number 32, and Sean Jackson, 35, come into the ball game. The first quarter is going to expire. So Florida State will be threatening as we begin quarter number 2, but after 1, it's 7-3 Miami. And it looks to me like that thing's a lot closer to the 3-yard line than it is the 2. And when they marked it after the end of the carry by Lee, they clearly had shown him with a 3-yard pickup. Florida State, second down and goal. Second major threat they've had. Trying for the lead right here. Give it inside to the big guy, Paul Moore, our senior fullback at 240 pounds, and he has the ball just inside the 2-yard line, picked up about a yard or so on the carry. Now, it is third down and goal.
Florida State got this ball on a turnover. Miami has turned the ball over 19 times previously to this ball game, and the defense has not allowed the opposing team to take that ball in for a score. 17 of the 19 times the defense has stopped them. 2 times they've allowed field goals.
Florida State now gets a second tight end, Hart, into the game. Weldon gives it off to the big man up front, Moore, the fullback, and he's not there. He's a half a yard short of the goal line, and it is fourth down.
Bowden feels content with just trying to run the ball inside of inside of the defensive line. Two tackles, not very heavy, 248 and 255. You got to go for it here, I would think.
Yep, I would say it's time to get some kind of judgment. You got to find out something. Ball is at the 1. Back into the ball, resting at the 1-yard hash mark. Fourth down. Fullback touchdown, Paul Moore.
Just straight ahead, give it to the first man. The tight end on the far side got a good block.
Jerry Thomas now on the field for the extra point try. Ricocheted through. Somebody hit that ball. And I think it bounced off of one of the Seminoles and bounced through.
Take a look at the tight end. It's Hart for Johnson, 85, the block on Golden. There's the crease you need. Went a little bit wider, got the touchdown.
Show me that Seminoles have gone to the lead, 10-7. Jerry Thomas has now hit 17 out of 17 in extra point kicks. And they'll kick it away to Miami. Number 5 is Williams, 35 Spencer. And Williams in particular is terrified when he's touched that ball. And they don't want to kick it to him. They'll give up yardage and let him have the ball all the way out on the 32-yard line. ABC's college football will have regional action for you following this matchup. Number 1 and 2, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, and Illinois, Oregon, UCLA out on the coast. And all of those teams are bowl teams, or at least potential. This is Miami's best starting field position of the ball game. Best point from which to start the possession. And Kevin Williams is in the backfield now going in motion. Novak, little quick pop to Spencer, and Spencer picks up a first down for Miami at the 44-yard line. They make you do everything defensively. They spread you out, they stretch you, they try this, they try that. If you don't stay alert, they'll just eat you alive.
Well, when they did go no back, then Florida State moved up and blitzed on the outside. Toretta saw it and popped the receiver, Spencer, right where the linebacker left.
McGuire, 47-yard line on the carry, 3-yard pickup. We're in the second quarter of play. Florida State leads Miami 10-7. Miami scored in its very first possession of the ball game, helped considerably by 2 personal foul penalties by the Seminoles. Florida State's first effort at scoring wound up in a field goal. They scored a touchdown on 4th down from the 1. First time this year that Miami has given a touchdown in the first half. Toretta's pass. This is Williams. Gino Toretta from Pinole, California. Brother Jeff is also a quarterback at Miami. That's right, Pinole, California. Fastest forward you can travel and play college football. They have 4 wideouts working here. Got a penalty flag. Ball is thrown away. If it is against Miami, then Florida State will be in position to make a pass. It is against Miami.
Well, they were blitzing. 2 men, 31 is Brown. 97 is Freeman. You watch at the end. Brown almost gets a foul on himself. You can't go up around the headgear, but I don't
He
think
raised
that
his arms.
wasn't severe enough to call him. Yeah.
By raising his arms, I think that prevented it. So the early start by somebody puts them in a circumstance of 3rd and 12 and a half, close to 13. Again, no back. Here they go, like a Cubby or Cuello, but the blitz is on, and you got a face mask call coming up against the Seminoles. And for all the world, I think Carl Simpson, as he came blitzing in, actually he wouldn't be blitzing, but somebody reached in there and got him to look like on the face mask. Let's see. It's a holding. They'll decline it, so it goes the other way. Now Miami will have to punt it.
Well, that was one of the keys for Miami coming into the ballgame. Could the offensive line of the Hurricanes block the Seminole pass rush, give him time to throw?
Well, Florida State now trying to get something in the degree of control in the state here in the second quarter. Oh, that punt just barely clears the stack, and Buckley runs away from it. He had no chance, and he just left it alone and ran off the field because there were 5 Hurricanes down there with the ball. 45-yard punt.
Look at that last punt. It was partially deflected up the middle. That's Brooks, number 10, a true freshman, who really gets in and roughs the punter. But look at the official top left of your screen. Gives the indication that the ball was tipped, partially deflected, and if you do get part of the ball, you can hit the punter. I'd say they got a lucky roll, the Hurricanes, for a ball that was deflected. They got a nice kick out of it.
They got a 20-yard roll. Buckley ran away from it. If he'd stayed back there and made the fair catch, it was different. 12-10 to go in the first half. Florida State's ball at their own 23-yard line. First down. Weldon quickly comes outside with it to Kevin Knox. Knox is across the 35 to the 36 and a first down. And here's Roger Cuello.
Thanks, Keith. At Death Valley, Maryland and Clemson. And this in the second quarter, Deshaun Cameron will go deep, 43 yards to Terry Smith for the touchdown. Clemson goes out on top 17-7. The Tigers with a win today capture the ACC and on their way to the Citrus Bowl. Keith?
Here, Roger, at the 36-yard line. First down, Florida State. Bennett and Lee behind Weldon.
5-man defensive line, Keith.
Coming. Good blocking by the Seminoles. The pass is incomplete. The pass intended for 85, Lonnie Johnson, and he was available.
Hurricanes took out a defensive back, slid in a 5th defensive lineman. Sonny Lubeck, the defensive coordinator, will do that occasionally when he thinks that the Seminoles are trying and run the football.
It'll be second down and 10 from the 36-yard line. These people know how to do that. The tomahawk chop.
Well, they originated, didn't it?
That's right. Theirs.
It all came from here.
Blitz. Lee. Armstead makes a good play. Jesse Armstead is a 220-pound junior from Dallas, and he made a fine play there to stop Amp Lee because Amp had some room.
Well, what Miami is trying to do, 5 defensive linemen on the first down. Here are the linebackers. Watch these 2 linebackers as they're blitzing right through the center guard gaps. The toss is wide. Now the strong safety. Round 8 gets up, gets a piece of the tackle. Want to stop the run, take the run away from him, and force him to throw the football. You don't want to get him to run and the pass.
Third down and 9. Number 76, Mark Caesar, 290-pound junior, Newark, New Jersey. Makes that big play, and it'll be cutting time for Florida State.
A good play by Caesar. He lost his helmet in the process, but that was really a coverage sack. There was nobody open downfield. Weldon had to hold it, and Caesar was there.
So at 10:50 to go in the first half, Florida State will punt it. Williams waits. Got Flair, no pressure on him. He kicks it away from Kevin Williams, and good kick. That's knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line. He kicked it across the field, all the way across, because he did knock out that thing in Kevin Williams' hand. It's a 38-yard punt and overturn. Tonight after the games are over, stay tuned to ABC for a great Saturday night. Angela and Tony getting close to getting hitched on Who's the Boss, followed by Growing Pains. Then after the Young Riders, the Commission. Tonight all here on ABC. Here comes Miami. First down at the 31. Williams Kevin Williams gets 8.
That play to reverse has worked well for Miami most of the year with the speed of Williams, but Florida State has a great deal of speed also, and they caught up with him. One of them was Marvin Jones, the inside linebacker who had a blurred vision, was poked in the eye, is back in the ballgame, obviously.
Second down and 2 for the Canes. Ball is at the 39. McGuire will be close to the first down.
Take a look at the first half possession. Miami took the opening kickoff and went for a touchdown in 7 plays, and since then, the 4 drives since then, they have not made a first down.
They're bringing the change to measure. Dale Phillips, we told you, the referee. The umpire called Crawley. Lee Reuter is the head linesman. First down. Billy Smith, field judge. Line judge Ed Jackson. Carter Lohr, the side judge. And Virgil Valdez, the back judge.
Keith, it's a low-scoring game. The defenses, it may look as though the coaches are conservative, but I think it's the impressiveness of the speed and quickness of the defense that's really muzzling the offense.
McGuire. That's a good move by McGuire, boy. That's a tough run by the big guy from Brooklyn.
Boy, you got that right. A couple of jukes in the backfield. It was almost a 4-yard loss. Big run. Here it is from the other side. That's Dinkins, 89, an outstanding linebacker. Then he just runs through some people. Big play.
McGuire out, Jones in. First down for the Canes. The ball now on the Seminole side of the field. Look at Jones. Terrell Buckley finally gets him out. Jones, a 245-pounder. He shows his straightaway speed there. He just put his head down and headed for the sideline.
Jones is getting some playing time, Keith, because of a suspension to Martin Patton, who has started actually at that remaining back position the last 2 ball games.
Another first down just inside the Florida State 30. Valletta changes the play. Passes away. Intercepted. Intercepted at the 12-yard line by Terrell Buckley.
Well, Buckley is going to be off to our far right here as we take a look at it. Dino is throwing it to some other receiver, not the man that Buckley is covering. But Buckley, with his great vision, it's 10th reception right here. Buckley's going to go. He's trying to throw the man that's going to be hooking into this area. Now watch as Buckley goes back, has good vision the entire way. The man that he's covering goes straight down. He sees the ball, dives back for it. 10th interception of the year. He leads the nation in interceptions.
19th in his career. First down, Florida State. They stop the Canes on the turtle. Up the middle goes Ant Lee. And he's to the 16. Darrell Williams, the free safety, and Darren Smith, the strong side linebacker. Take it down.
You know, for a career, Keith, you mentioned he's had 19, I think, and he's averaged 25 yards per return when he's intercepted a pass.
He has a huge play, second play of the game against Michigan. This is Lee, searching. No treasure to into that one. Rusty Medeiros jumped in. Kind of interesting in the rushing yards. Miami's run for 74. Florida State, on the other hand, only 23.
Rusty Medeiros, 98, and Mancini, 67, the battle up front. It's a good job by Medeiros, just fighting off, going down the line of scrimmage, waiting for the runner to come to him.
Loss on the play of a yard. Third down and 7 for the nose. This is Edgar Bennett. Short of his first down. Florida State is now 0 for 6 third down conversions. Mancini's hurt.
Shot of Buckley. You know, he is number 2 all time in career interception return yards. That is quite a feat for only 19 interceptions.
Kevin Mancini is the man bent over out there, and you're looking at that sore knee. He has come back remarkably from a knee injury. He may have to leave the ball game, and if they do, then Mike Morris will move over to the tackle position, and Patrick McNeil will move in at the guard position. Game summary reflected there. Ant Lee, his total yardage, most of that comes from that 51-yard pass reception that he had, which set up the field goal. Down and 1, they'll have to punt it out of there. It's a low-line drive, and it's again kicked away from Kevin Williams. Takes a pretty good roll for Florida State and goes out of bounds at the Miami 34. Here come the Canes again now after a 45-yard punt. For Torretta, 3 for 10 in the ball game, an interception, 30 yards. All 3 of his completions have been to running backs. But running backs on the Miami scheme of things are same as wideouts. But those receivers. Toretta's pass down the middle. It is caught by Spencer, and ball comes out as he goes down. But it'll not be a fumble. He was down at the 46-yard line. The Florida State 46.
That's the first pass caught by a wide receiver for the University of Miami. That's a good call.
McGuire lines up in the backfield. Has the ball going outside. Palmer and Jones put him out of bounds.
Keith, we just got word that Kevin Mancini, the offensive tackle, there you take a look at him, felt something pop in his knee and is off on the sideline moving around on it, but keep him out for a while. He may be back a little bit later.
6.5 minutes to go in the first half. The ball rests at the 43-yard line of Florida State. It is 2nd down and 7. And Larry Jones is in the backfield. Pressure. They got him. Taken down at the 46. It was Carl Simpson, Jr. from Baxley, Georgia. 3rd sack of Torretta.
Offenses are frustrated. Take a look. They want to get the ball to Williams right here. He's going to run a shallow line route. Just a quick screen type of thing. Comes in now. Watch the linebacker. Hold it. If you stop it right there, you see the linebacker is all over him. That's the defense. Well-coached defense on these offenses here today.
3rd down and 10. That is 1st down.
Big play there. The Hurricanes needed something positive, something from an area that they don't expect it, and they don't expect Torretta to pick up many first downs. Obviously, the Seminoles don't either.
They were involved with 1 the blitz, 2 the coverage, and suddenly the quarterback is uncovered. The first down, the ball rests right at the 33-yard line on the Florida State side, and McGuire is back in. Has it. 2 yards. Joe Ostazuski, number 75 at the bottom. The Ostazuski boys are from Boynton Beach. Joe's at 265. Henry's, they listed at 265, but I think Henry's bigger.
How do you know?
His looks bigger.
I saw Papa Ostazuski in the Seminole offices yesterday. He wasn't as big as those 2 guys.
2nd down and 8. Torretta's pass completes with Jones out of the backfield. Pretty good lick there from Abraham, but Jones goes ahead and gets the first down for Miami. So the Canes now have got a threat going. First down at the Florida State 21. Sebastian Ibis is the last bird to leave before the storm, the first to return. So they say. Nobody's ever really been around to check that.
For sure. Nobody makes sense.
Torretta still got it. Ball is slapped out of there on the tip and is intercepted. Marvin Jones has the interception, but it was tipped by Richard Coase, number 16. 3 turnovers now by Miami. This one comes at 4:28 to go in the first half.
On your screen, right between the goalposts, that's Coase, number 16, gets in before the tight end gets the ball. Knocks it up in the air from the right side. Look at this athletic play by this middle linebacker. Jones' vision must be restored. There's a look at Jones dropping back. Sees the ball. Leads his team in tackles.
They take over at the 13-yard line. Casey Weldon has a lot of time. Gets away from it. Now he needs to throw it and get rid of it, and he does. And they're going to give him a catch up at the 30. Warren Hart, 260-pound sophomore.
Well, he's not as the offense is throwing it up, that's for sure. But Casey Weldon is making the plays where Torretta is not. Scrambles, this is just all ad-lib now. This is just ability. Get outside, find somebody, and get the ball to him.
That's Darren Crine, defensive end, sophomore out of Aurora, Colorado, leaving the field for Miami. First down, Florida State, just beyond their own 30. Weldon, 6 for 10 now at 103 yards. Most people consider Weldon and Desmond Howard of Michigan, your prime Heisman candidates at this point of the season. Weldon with a major showcase this week. Desmond Howard gets his next week when Michigan plays Ohio State here on ABC Sports. On first down, Weldon keeps it, throws it quickly. Pass caught by Knox. And pick up 6 yards. Here's Roger again.
Thank you very much, Keith. At Ohio State, Indiana missed a field goal attempt, and the Buckeyes, Carlos Snow, from 6 yards out, will take it up the middle for the touchdown. 26 of the 32 Ohio State touchdowns this year have been on the ground. They lead at 10-6, second quarter. Let's go back to Keith and Bob in Tallahassee.
All right, Roger, one of the things that's happening here for Weldon, Casey Weldon holds the ball a long time. So as a result, virtually every time he throws a pass, he's getting sacked. Like that. Pass is away, intercepted by Charles Farms. And Miami's cooking at the 40-yard line of Florida State. That was a pass that had something taken off of it when Medeiros hit Weldon.
Pressure is going to come from the left side of the screen as Medeiros will get there right there. Takes a little bit off of it, forces the ball to hang. Farm sees it. The ball was not on target. That's the 4th turnover of the ball game and the first one for the Hurricanes.
And it's first down, Canes at the Seminole 40 with 3:49 to play, and McGuire lines up behind Coretta. He's got the ball. And he goes down pretty much on the line of scrimmage because he had a collision with Marvin Jones. Marvin's big brother Fred was quite a linebacker here at Florida State himself.
You know, Marvin Jones led this team in tackles last year, is right there again this year, with a third-team All-American choice last year as a true freshman. This young man is a sophomore. He's one of the finalists for the Butkus Award as a sophomore, the only sophomore ever to be a finalist. And he deserves being in that group.
This time out charge to Florida State. 10-7, Seminoles lead in the ball game. Ball game here at Doak Campbell Field in Tallahassee, Florida. Home of the Florida State Seminoles. Miami to the attack now, second down and 10. The ball at the 40. They try the ground game again, this time with Larry Jones. And they'll get a couple of yards out of it, up to about the 38. Defense has dominated this first half. Put it on the 39-yard line, not the 38. And call it third down and 9. Three wideouts, 3 DBs go with them. Penalty flag. The receiver, number 17, Coleman Bell, got tangled up with Kirk Carruthers. And that got a flag as the receiver went down with Carruthers. And you got, I think, a pass interference call against Florida State coming up.
Holding on the defense.
That's a holding instead.
Kirk Carruthers is an inside linebacker. He wears 45, but he's not a DB. Inside linebacker who has the ability to cover tight ends and some, not the fastest backs out of the backfield, but some of them.
He is from East Lansing, Michigan. Top 25 with the scores and highlights. Roger and Bro will be on at the Prudential halftime report, including a feature by Julie Moran and Bob Sabowski. Bobby and Company, Mountain Inc. And I mean, football is cool everywhere. What the quarterbacks have done so far, the ball rests at the 29-yard line. Is the first down. Larry Jones is in the backfield for Miami. He's got it. Cuts it back into the middle. And there's a whole lot of folks bumping heads with him. Sterling Palmer, number 56, was the man that seemed to have the leverage on him and really stopped him. As the clock rolls along.
Florida State, Keith, will substitute 5 and 6 defensive players. A lot of those guys along the defensive line are in there for the run situations, and then Bowden will put in 4 or 5 different players, some of them DBs and some of them defensive linemen, to rush the passer and to cover in the secondary.
On second down and 8. You've got your 5 defensive back in there. Jones came up. Ball hit the umpire. The pass struck the umpire. He's just part of the equipment. And it's third down and 8. Of course, he's got that lump on him. He doesn't feel like part of the equipment.
There he is here, trying to get the ball to the receiver that's going to come out. Watches the official. This is just the quarterback's ball as much as anything. You've got to see the DBs, but you also have got to see ahead of the receiver. I mean, you may have been blocked out by the offensive lineman. Could have hit him in the face, and that may be part of the problem.
Well, I don't know if you've ever tried to catch. Or hit him in the face, in the nose area, more than the eye. Thank goodness. Hey, that'll heal. Stephen McGuire checks back in. Third down and 8 for the team. Beretta back. Pressure coming. Runs away from it. Gets his pass off. The pass is complete. Hard hit on Lamar Thomas, seeing the ball for the first time today, but the ball flies out of bounds. And Miami has a first down deep in Florida State territory.
He's going to release to the inside. The DB is going to jam him inside. That's Buckley. Now Buckley sees that Torretta is sprinting out to the outside. A very good throw by Torretta over Buckley. Thomas fumbles it, but it goes out of bounds.
And it's first down Miami at the Florida State 13. Torretta throws it. Same man, Bell, that he's been looking at all day. And occasionally gives him the ball. And Coleman Bell is a dynamite receiver.
Bell is number 17. It'll be a play action fake. It's a slow block. He blocks the man for a while. Hopefully the man covering him will slide back to the inside. This time the Seminoles play it pretty well defensively.
Time remaining in the first half is now 1:25. And Miami is knocking on the door, trying to regain the lead as we come to halftime.
In the second quarter, Syracuse 10, Boston College 10.
Miami is charged with this timeout. The influence of these two teams, and in particular the influence of the way Miami plays offensive football, you're beginning to see it all over the country.
Points, turned it over once. But the defenses and the quickness and the speed, just like we thought, is very prevalent and controlling the game.
Second down and 6 from the 9-yard line as the crowd comes up a little bit here now, trying to get involved in it. Back goes Torretta, looks for Williams, penalty flag as he pulls the ball down. He's taken down at about the 9, but let's see about the penalty. Umpire threw it. Usually that means a hold. But he's the man looking at the line.
We have holding on the offense.
There it is right here. Now watch as the man tries to make a move this side. The center will block him initially. That's Harris, 54. He blocks him. Now watch him. Now it's the tackle. And the umpire's right there.
Takedown.
That umpire, you know, if you're an offensive lineman, especially a guard or center, you've got to look at your guy. But I'd also look to see where the umpire was on the initial alignment.
Second down and 16 as the ball comes back to the 23. Toretta's got some room, starts to run, knocked off his stride, and will pick up some. Taken down at the 16. And it'll bring up third down and long.
Nobody getting open in the secondary. Of course, there's not a lot of room down here, Keith. The defensive backs can take more gambles, can be a little bit more aggressive, use the back of the end zone as in their favor, and some good pressure put on Torretta.
Miami spending the timeout. They're now down to 1 at 51 seconds to go in the first half. It'll be third down and 13. Third and 13 from the 16. Blitz. Right call, right time, right place. The loss is back outside to the 24-yard line, and it was Podrick McIntosh.
Here's the linebacker here, Carruthers. He's going to attract all of the attention. But the man that actually gets in there is the man next to him. Everybody jumps on Carruthers right there, and McIntosh comes free. Now 2 of them block the linebacker. Just a simple game between a linebacker and defensive end.
Carlos Huerta. Block. The Seminoles blocked the field goal drive, leaving 11 seconds on the clock. I think it was Sterling Palmer that gets a piece of it.
And somebody gets in between the offensive linemen. Someone jumping. I can't see. Maybe it was 74. I don't think it's the 2 guys that jump behind the line. I think it's somebody right there in front. 74 looks like Ostaszewski.
Yep, that'll be Henry. And so now the Florida State Seminoles will run it on the ground, and that should put everybody in the clubhouse. As the time ticks away, and in halftime, it is Florida State leading Miami 10-7 in a defensive struggle. Back with a halftime after this message and the word from our ABC station. Up a touchdown to Miami in the very first possession of the game. Came back to lead 10-7. This a key play at the close of the first half. Otherwise, we'd be all even.
Miami was down there going for a touchdown and then had to settle for a field goal attempt. And then the field goal attempt was blocked. Big momentum change for Florida State. Sterling Palmer, we were told, number 56. He's the man who leaped. He is 6'7", and standing behind the center, got in the air to get a finger on the ball.
Florida State gets the ball now, the first possession of the second half. They won the toss and deferred. This would be a very good time to assert themselves because, as you have said consistently through the game, and as Bo said a few minutes ago, offensive line play is so critical. And as you look at the halftime stats, I think you can tell right here that offensive line play hadn't been all that great.
Well, it's a defensive board. There's no question about it. The turnovers are the thing that jumps out. The total yardage for these two offenses, 170 and 145 yards in the first half, is not a whole lot. What's not shown on there is the 4 sacks that FSU has had on that man right there, Gino Torretta. And one of the keys going in was could the Miami offensive line, which is probably the weakest area of their team, could they hold up against the rush of Florida State.
The deep people for Florida State will be Thacker McMillan, 33, and Felix Harris, 24. Carlos Huerta will kick it off for Miami. So this one's still very much up in the air. Number 1, Florida State. Number 2, Miami. And here we go. Ball dropped by Harris. Now he gets out of there. Oh, my goodness. He had a little daylight to go. And you know who tripped him up? Kevin Williams.
How embarrassing for the return man, too, after a nice effort.
Jackaroot.
Bo Schembechler was right on the money as far as what the conversations in both locker rooms were going to be about. In the case of the University of Miami, that's all Dennis Erickson talked about. But in the Florida State locker room, Bobby Bowden addressed the team at the end and said, gentlemen, here's what we need to do. We need to run 1 yard longer if you're a runner, block a split second quicker if you're a blocker, and we need a big star in the second half.
Well, they have the ball, and they have it out at the 28-yard line. Weldon back. Sack. Third sack in the ball game. It comes from Corwin Francis. Weldon has not yet stood up.
He may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him because he did get hit right in the middle of the back. Here's Corwin Francis down here. As Weldon goes back, he's just going to come around the pile. Kind of a delayed blitz. He stands there for a second, drops back. Again, I circled the wrong guy, but he still gets to the inside. I was just checking on all you guys out there, making sure you see which one I'm circling. Who's blitzing. Right side of the screen. 58, Corwin Francis, backup linebacker.
From the way he was hit, it may well be that he just has had the wind knocked out of him. Brad Johnson will hustle into the game. The big guy at 6'6", 215.
Doesn't look as though anything with his lower legs, his knees or ankles are a problem.
Johnson started when Weldon was hurt in the LSU game. The next game, Johnson was the starter. Of course, he was the starter and lost the job to Casey Weldon. He's 6'6", 215. He is a senior. He is from Black Mountain, North Carolina. He has a powerful arm. But he's been sitting on the bench all day. And he didn't take that many snaps during the week in the preparation for this ball game. And they are still talking to and looking at Casey Weldon, the quarterback for Florida State. Now we get some movement. I don't know if you ever had the wind knocked out of you, but it is no fun.
And hopefully that's what it is. Second man in from the bottom right. 58 just comes around the pile. Hits him in the middle in the back. He may have fallen on the football, Keith. Sometimes when you go down, you may fall on the football, and that can take the wind out of you very quickly. It looks like that's all it is.
But he's got to come out. For one play. That gets a roar from the home folks. And the ball is resting now near the 23-yard line. It will be second down and 16. And Johnson is in. Here comes the blitz. Ladarius coming around from the back. Johnson puts it in the air on the one play he's got. Gives it to Ant Lee. And Ant Lee runs that football across the 40-yard line to the 42, and it's a first down for Florida State. So Johnson comes into the ball game, and he comes in with a pass play. Here's Jack.
Well, Keith, it's good news for the condition of Casey Weldon. He just had the wind knocked out of him, as Bob Greasy said. So what they told me is they won't let him back in right away unless he can convince them that he's ready to play.
Johnson stays. The ball marked at the 41-yard line and first down. Going to put it up again. Oh, he isn't either. Everybody peeled off and left that great big gaping hole, and he runs it close to a first down.
The advantage of Brad Johnson coming into the ballgame. First of all, look at this graphic. They're a big third-quarter team, outscoring their opponents big time. But Johnson there's no pressure on him all week. No pressure on him in the ballgame. He's sitting over on the sideline the first half. He knows what the Hurricanes have done. There's no pressure on him. He comes in here. He says, well, I've been a starter here before. I can make plays. Give me a chance.
He picked up 9 yards on that run, 2nd down and 1. And they go to Lee. And he will get the first down after Miami 46.
First drive of the third quarter, very big for both sides.
Weldon coming back in. Johnson certainly did his job and gets plaudits from his teammates on the side of the field as Casey steps back into the huddle. Johnson gave him a first down to work with. Weldon 7 of 12 for 109 yards and interception. Can't get rid of it. Darren Klein, the sophomore from Aurora, Colorado, had walked off earlier in the ball game, beat up. But he comes back and registers sack number 4 on Weldon.
Casey Weldon is content to sit in the pocket a little bit longer than Brad Johnson. Johnson, as you saw just a play earlier, took off and got a few yards upfield.
That's one of the reasons that Casey gets hammered so much, though. He holds the ball so long.
Yep. You make big plays that way, but you'll also get some sacks.
Ball comes all the way back to the Florida State 48. 2nd down and 16. He runs it back to the 46, which is just about where this possession series, or this first down series started. Now he's going to be looking at 3rd and 10. Really haven't seen a lot of gimmicks yet. Semi stuff, but nothing really out.
Just the one quarterback, same play both times. Quarterback rolls to the right, throws back to the left.
Seminoles are 0 for 6 in 3rd down tries, 3rd down conversion. Weldon rolls it out. Passes away, passes good. And so they convert for the first time today at the 32-yard line. Kevin Knox makes the catch.
Good play, move the pocket, both backs go with you, gives you a little bit more time for the receivers to do their thing. Knox gets wide open, comes back to the quarterback. Big first down.
Remember that graphic you saw a few minutes ago? Florida State has been a heavyweight in the 3rd quarter. Against everybody they played. Another quick pop. Whoa, he drilled it. And it's caught by McCourty. And it's a first down in front of Darrell Williams at the 20.
Quick slant. Wide receiver's going to come down, break to the inside. Now the man who makes the play is right here. But Weldon, 3-step drop. Sees the receiver on a little slant route. He's catching the tough balls right there. The play is there a lot, but you need a special receiver that will go in there and catch it.
His McCourty. Remarkable family. Weldon back. Gets his pass away. Pass is completed. And it'll go for another first down for Florida State. It looked like McCourty again, and it was.
There's a reverse angle of it. This play is made by Weldon. Now he should throw. Now it's all bets are off. He gets rid of the ball, avoids the sack. Tell you what, in big games, the big-time players come forward and make big plays.
1st and goal, Florida State, near the 8-yard line of Miami. Camp Lee slides down. He was going to make a cut toward the boundary, and his feet lifted. And there's a loss of 2. This is prescription turf. Lee has only 9 yards today in 11 carries.
He's got a remarkable record over the last few years. 419 attempts coming into the ballgame without a turnover. You hand it to that man, you can be sure that you're going to run it again. Here's what Florida State has done inside the 20 today.
Lee again got a block on the corner. Penalty flag is down. Darren Smith wrestles him out of bounds. Let's see about the call. Referee, I think, threw that flag.
Offensive holding, 10-yard penalty.
Florida State continues to shoot itself in the foot.
Say it's tough enough moving down the field against a good defense. And then you start adding holding penalties, clipping penalties. It just makes it that much tougher.
Ball comes back to the 22-yard line.
Right side of the screen. 85 Johnson right there, left hand. Yep, there again.
It'll make it 2nd down and 22. Bennett, Edgar Bennett. Bennett knocked out by Williams. That ball was snapped, and they almost had a hurricane in the neutral zone, but he got back. And Bennett's marked out inside the 15 near the 14-yard line, so they'll be looking now at 3rd down and 14. 11 plays, 6.5 minutes so far in the opening possession of the second half. Florida State leading Miami 10-7. Weldon's pass to the corner. No, he had it on the hands of number 1 Shannon Baker, and he couldn't hold it with Ryan McNeil defending. And it's 4th down.
Take a look at the protection this time for Weldon. Good coverage. Look at this throw. Right where it needs to be. You do all that, you get the protection, you get the offensive line, you get the quarterback the ball there. The receiver has to make the catch.
25-yard field goal, good earlier by Jerry Thomas. Now it's a 31-yard try, and it's good. 13-7. Florida State now leads by 6. 8:29 to play, third quarter. In a sense, by Miami. Settling for a 31-yard field goal by Jerry Thomas to lead 13-7. Now we'll see the Hurricanes with the football for the first time in the second half and see what Dennis Erickson and his folks have put together. They still do not want to kick the football to Kevin Williams. Fair catch is called at the 28-yard line by Casey Greer. And that's where Miami will go to work. These are the games that follow. Notre Dame will be Happy Valley against Penn State. Michigan will be at Illinois. Oregon, UCLA, and Pasadena. All of those teams, with the exception of Oregon, looking at bowl possibilities. They probably have already got their deals made, if you were to believe what you hear and read. 28-yard line. McGuire. That'll be the 32, 4-yard pickup. There has been a goodly bit of real estate open right in that area where McGuire ran all day today, as everybody has been so intent at shutting down those wide people.
3 or 4 yards up there, but then those linebackers and the quickness gets there, and they just shut it down for a 4-yard gain.
Jones tries it, and he only gets a yard as we go to Rutgers.
Thanks, Keith. Indiana at Ohio State, third quarter. And for the second time today, Carlos Snow will bust one up the middle. This time 13 yards for the touchdown. Buckeyes lead at 17-13. Snow's 8th rushing touchdown of the season. Let's go back to Keith.
Kind of nice to see Carlos Snow bouncing back.
Really is, isn't it?
Period.
Yep.
Third down, call it 5. Pass is complete to Coleman Bell, and Bell's got first down at midfield, and just across it for Miami. He has sort of been the money man today. When they've had to have something, they've gone looking for number 17.
Right here is Williams. He started in motion down here into the flat. They forgot about Coleman Bell. He's just going to slide right into the middle of the field. They're paying too much attention to Williams, number 5. He went in motion. Nobody covered the tight end. Good play by Toretta.
McGuire's back in. Has the ball. Good block on the corner. Move it from near midfield down across the 45 to the 44. So it's about a 6-yard pickup. It's Kirk Carruthers. We're still in the third quarter. At 6:45 to go, McGuire on the day, 12 carries and 69 yards. It's 4-5, so let's call it second down and 5. Goes Spencer on a reverse. Or what some of us old-timers used to call the wingback counter. Bob Greasy used to run that.
Me. Just too much quickness for Florida State. They see it, recognize it, and run to the point of intersection and get him.
The third down and 2 coming up.
Here's Seminoles, defensive leaders. Three turnovers and 4 sacks in the first half.
This is McGuire for the first down. He didn't get there. He is just a little short. They'll undoubtedly want the chains on for this one. They will in a hurry. So that'll stop your clock at 5:56 to play in the third quarter. And the chains come on. Well, I haven't seen anything that would tell me that anything has changed here, except possibly both teams are striving for greater concentration, maybe. Well, so far, anyway.
It's short.
It's short.
Oh, looks like they're going to go for it, Keith. Dennis Erickson falls on the 40-yard line. Florida State is number 3 in the nation against the run. Time is way down in rushing statistics. They're not known for the rushing.
They need about a foot. McGuire has it. When you can take him 2 steps outside and then let him turn, he is a load. He has the first down. The black and white blip with the killer whale colors, Shamu. Carrying our picture from the sky today. Airship Shamu representing SeaWorld Parks in Orlando, Oro, San Diego, and San Antonio. Drifting through the blue sky of the Panhandle of Florida. Larry Jones in the backfield. First down from the 38-yard line. Loretta turns and throws it. My goodness, they're lucky to get it back. Number 89, Howard Dinkins. They sort of been picking on Dinkins all day, and that time he almost put 6 on the board for Florida State.
Told you going on, they are a big play defense. They give up some big plays, but they make some big plays also. Gino should never have thrown this ball. Dinkins, that ball is almost a lateral, thrown backwards.
It looks like a lateral.
Almost thrown backwards.
Could have been. It went out of bounds. Kevin Williams lines up in the backfield. There'll be no back after he goes in motion.
Here they come.
Oh, they missed him. But they flush him, and they get him at the 35. Whew. I mean, they had him in their sights, and he just took a little step, and everybody went right by him. But they did flush him.
No backs. Florida State is blitzing no backs. Gino does a nice job of avoiding 3 defensive guys. No way you're going to outrun these guys, Gino. Too fast. Too quick for you. But nobody was open downfield. Bump and run, man-to-man coverage.
Third down and 7 at the 35 of Florida State. Goes inside to McGuire. 1-yard pickup. Marvin Jones hit him just as the ball arrived. It is 4th and 6.
The other linebacker, Kurt Carruthers, was blitzing him right in the face. As you see, Carlos Huerta in for a field goal attempt.
The ball will be put down just beyond the 41, making a 51-yard try. He had 1 try chip today. His long of the season was 47 yards. This is a 51-yarder. I heard whistles before the kick.
Florida State called timeout.
What do you say? Time remaining in the third quarter, 3:49. That kick by Huerta was short and right of his target. But FSU had called time, apparently. He holds every kicking record at Miami, except the longest field goal by Dan Miller.
From behind the umpire,
Paul Snyder has come in.
Yeah, we were changing to go punt. See, there's the umpire right there calls timeout. They changed from kicking the field goal to lining up to attempt a punt.
Well, these guys out there, I wouldn't be surprised somebody drop kicked it. You never know.
Drop kicked it?
These guys will do a lot of different things. Both of them.
Well, Florida State has nobody back.
All he's got to do is pooch it, and they're going to kill it way back there, and he's done a pretty good job of pooching it. Yeah, it's going to roll around inside the 10 and roll dead at the 7. So that worked out pretty good for the Miami Hurricanes. Florida State is leading Miami 13-7. They have the football first down at their own 7-yard line, and Kevin Mancini is back in at offensive tackle. Casey Weldon in the ball game, 10 for 16, 147 yards, intercepted 1. Weldon's pass good. Pass is caught by Kes McCorvey. And it appears to be a first down to give the Seminoles a little real estate behind them. Nebraska trying to make it back down to the Orange Bowl. One of these two teams are going to be in that Orange Bowl game, it looks like. Weldon gives the ball to Bennett. And Bennett breaks it on the sideline. Out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Curly Brown got just enough of it. Another first down.
Watch the block on number 1, top left of your screen. As Amp Lee blocks Jesse Armstead, and then Mancini gets a good block. Poor tackling on that side by James. Just a good job of blocking and some poor tackling, and a big play for the Seminoles.
So from the 7, they picked up successive first downs, and now they got some room. Here they come. Amp Lee blows it up the middle. I mean, you go looking for Amp, and you just keep grabbing air. Darrell Williams finally gets the shoulder on him and knocks him out of bounds. But another big play. First down, Florida State, Miami, 35-yard line.
Well, the offensive line of Florida State is starting to take over the ballgame. Both these linebackers are going to blitz. Watch the offensive line as they pick up the blitz. Nice block by the fullback, Bennett. And it's just a good run. And Amp Lee does not allow the first man to tackle him. Bennett with 2 good blocks. 2 plays.
Bennett picked up 20 on the previous play. Lee just went for 27. And he's got it again. And he's inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. That's an 8-yard pickup. Giving 7 yards to the 28. Darren Smith the tackle.
Hurricanes are blitzing again. Left of your screen, top left. That's Barrow, 56. Watch the pullback. Makes him go around. Doesn't get a crushing block, but forced him to go around. Enough room for Lee. It's the thing about these backs, Keith. They'll block for each other. Lee running the ball. Bennett running the ball.
Sean Jackson has come in now to give Amp Lee a little breather. Weldon pumps it, keeps it, takes off. Little quarterback draw going for the first down at the 24-yard line of Miami. The Honda Scholar athlete this week. See his grade point in Management Information Systems, Reggie Dixon, Florida State University senior offensive guard. He is from Jacksonville. Honda will present a check for $3,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of Florida State University. Michael Barrow is the man shaken up on the field, number 56, a very important personality in the structure of that Miami defensive corps. Man, that looks pretty good. I expect we'll see him again.
But he gets one of his feet caught. Tries to dance around, jump around the block right there. His left foot gets caught underneath the leg of Edgar Bennett. Hurricanes looking a little bit disorganized on these last couple of plays, Keith. That time, one of the quarterbacks barely getting out to the alignment over the wide receiver.
From the 24 now on the Miami end of the field, first down, Florida State. Weldon gives it to Jackson. Not a whole lot there for that one. He was a little late getting started, and by then Eric Miller had him in sight and got him.
Well, we thought that Florida State would try to run inside, and that's what they've done on this drive, especially at the Hurricanes.
13-7, Florida State leading at 1:40 to go in the third quarter. Pace of the game quite deliberate. The defense is dominating. Weldon's pass is good. Edgar Bennett, number 22, gets down to the 10-yard line. He's got first down. I don't know which side of the 10 they're going to mark it. But Edgar Bennett comes up with another big play. Georgia Tech said to be headed for possibly the Aloha Bowl. Winning their game, they have to win one more because one of their victories coming in here was against Furman. Furman is a 1AA team. Jackson is out. Amp Lee is back. The ball is squarely on the 10. And it's first and goal. Lee, look out. By then, school's out. Jesse Armstead's in the neighborhood. You get one glance, that's it.
Yep, that's right. The Miami linebackers have been banged up a little bit. Armstead popped the shoulder a little bit earlier. Michael Barrow, we just heard, twisted his left ankle and has been cleared to come back into the ballgame.
And we're headed toward a half a minute to go in the third quarter. Eric Terrell, number 7 now. You're going to see him at the top of your picture. Weldon looked at him, came back into the middle to his tight end, Lonnie Johnson, and hit him on the numbers at the 5-yard line. So that'll probably be the last play of the third quarter, and it is, for sure. Now they whistle it. And stop the clock with 3 seconds to play. Weldon now shows 13 of 19 in his personal stats for 176 yards. In this quarter, you see that has happened. We have time for one play. In this possession by Florida State, which started back at their 7-yard line, they've run 9 plays, covered 89 yards, used 3.5 minutes. They have yet to put some numbers up. Now they wind the clock and let it run out before they run the play. And so we have finished 3 with Florida State leading by 6. And we'll be back after this message and the word from our ABC station. Billy Johnson trotted off the field, went back in actually, and they finally had to run him off because you have to sit out one play. They've got Hart in there right now, big Warren Hart. Florida State is looking at 3rd down and 4 from the Miami 4 for the touchdown if they're going to get one. Otherwise, we might very well see another kick. But this has been a very long possession, a long drive by Florida State. Let's go around here. Yep, Edgar Bennett bounces, headed for the corner, won't get there. Taken down and out of bounds by number 31, Darrell Williams at the 3.
Now, Bowden didn't want to take any chance to turn the ball over. He wants to get the 3 points at least out of this situation. 3rd quarter dominated by Florida State. Total yards 159 to 38. They ran 22 plays to Miami's 10.
If he gets his 3 here, that gives him a 9-point lead.
Yeah.
Then I think his offensive thinking conceivably could change. I don't know if it will or not, but it's possible. Here's the kick up. Nailed it. So Jerry Thomas becomes a major persona in this game with his 3rd field goal. And we'll zip up the coast to New York City and watch some weather out there, aren't you?
Well, it'd be a lot nicer at Miami at the Orange Bowl if they make it.
Oh. That thing they played against Nebraska-Colorado game tonight was just frigid. Oh. It is a 16-7 ball game now with 14 minutes and 22 seconds. The home team, Florida State, ranked number 1 all season long, holding the lead. Now we're going to see Miami play some games here. You've got Kevin Williams, number 5. Darrell Spencer, 35, and they both come creeping up. Williams is going to get this one. He's got it at the 17. And they take him down at the 29. Derek Brooks, number 10, hit him solid and wrapped him and took him down. If you look at Florida State's scoring drive as Miami starts its possession here, and I should point out that Miami has been inside the Florida State 35 the last 4 times they've had the ball. They've been intercepted, missed the field goal, and punted.
Yep.
Stephen McGuire lines up in the backfield. Gino Toretta. Short underneath the linebackers, McGuire. And he's down at the 36. And that'll be a 7-yard pickup as Levon Brown, the strong safety, makes the tackle.
The Hurricanes team only had the ball 1 time the entire 3rd quarter. Florida State dominating that 3rd quarter with 2 drives, one of 13 plays and one of 11 plays, both ending in field goals. So Florida State coming out the second half picks up 6 points on Miami. Miami's got a little bit of a hitch in their giddy up now. They need to get some moving on.
Toretta 10 out of 20. McGuire runs it and gets his first down. Mark him just over the 40. Record crowd today at Oak Campbell Stadium. Watching this 35th meeting between these two schools. 63,442. That passes the low mark of 63,190 set last year when the Florida Gators were here. Toretta back to the sidelines to Kevin Williams to the 45. Chris Cowart makes the tackle. And the clock stops as he goes out of bounds, and we check in with Jack.
You know, the last time we were here, the kicking game for Florida State, well, it was really a problem. It's changed, but look at one of the new things they've unveiled today. There's a special kicking net. Now, these are the goalposts. What you do is you bring the ball back here, and you've got the right angle to get it through the uprights.
Everything's good except the kicker misses 2 or 3 times. You won't have a whole lot of confidence, and this is a big blow up the middle by McGuire. He had a big hole and then just started running through people, and they don't stop him until he's all the way down to the Florida State 28-yard line. Wow.
Miami's passing game gets all the glitter. It's explosive, but it's the running game that beat Florida State last year. 334 yards on the ground last year, and Miami's doing some business on the ground again here this afternoon.
McGuire has 16 carries for 103 yards, and Larry Jones is in. First down for the Canes, and Toretta to put it up. Throws it underneath. Goes to Lamar Thomas. Thomas is down around the 21. Miami showing a little more grit, a little more determination in this possession than they did in the previous one. Second down and 3. McGuire's back now, having had a little blow on the sidelines. He's been back. Blitz coming. McGuire popped the tackle at the line of scrimmage. And Leon Fowler finally wrestles him down, but he's got another first down. Kurt Carruthers had a shot at him right on the line of scrimmage, and he ran right through it. So McGuire really pounding hard. Ball resting just short of 13. First down for the Canes.
Here they come.
Checked off, yep. Penalty. They take him down back at the 22, but the whistles were blowing and the flag had been thrown before the ball was snapped.
Yeah. Everybody knew that their blitz was on.
We have a dead ball foul. False start on the offense.
Back him up fine.
Everybody knew the blitz was on. This is the man that was blitzing, but over here, this was a man that jumped a little bit early for the Hurricanes. He's already up in his stance. Gino had saw it, checked off. You got to keep your poise in those situations. If you know what's coming and you get to the right play, you can take advantage of it.
The penalty puts them back on the Florida State 19. Where it's first down and 15. Carruthers creeping around, suddenly winds up eyeballing Torretta, and Gino calls a timeout. Says, I think I need a little help from the clinic.
Big plays, rushing for more yardage than it's passing. You got to give the credit to the defense of Florida State for taking away the big plays in Miami.
All right, first down and 15 for Miami. In the fourth quarter. 9-point lead, Florida State. Torretta's pass it away across the field and out of bounds. Incomplete. He was looking at Horace Copeland. That'll make it second down and 15. Torretta now 12 of 23, 115 yards, 2 interceptions, you see there, compared to what Casey Weldon has done.
And 4 quarterback sacks. He has not had the luxury of sitting back there and looking around for very long. That play, another blitz was on. He had to get rid of it. Didn't have time to wait.
Second down, 15. Slips, Carruthers gets him. 5 sacks. And the ball comes back across the 25.
Here's Carruthers out here. The linebacker is going to slide to the inside, kind of sneak in here. Gino's going to go back, look downfield. The back, number 30, McGuire sees him. Just does a poor job of blocking him. That's at least the second sack today for Carruthers.
Third down and 22. Ball out just over the 25. Another timeout. Charge to Miami. 10:26 to play in the ball game. They have one left. Timeout remaining for Miami now. Tuck that away in your mind at 10:26 to go in the ball game. Third down and 22 at the Florida State 25.
And the reason he called the timeout, he didn't have much time left on the 25-second clock.
Yeah, does he go into the end zone here?
You got to get at least 3 points on this drive.
They got it back at the 27. 6 sacks. Simpson did it this time.
They're just blitzing him, Keith. The inside linebacker is here. The cornerback is here. They're both going to be coming along with all the other defensive guys. Jones picks him up that time. Torretta steps around. They need 3 points.
Werder from 45 yards out. Plenty of leg, and he got it. Carlos Huerta. 9:48 to play now. And it's a 6-point game. 16-10, Florida State. The problem with the knee, I'm sorry to say. Sophomore linebacker. Florida State had 16 unanswered points after Miami had scored on the opening possession of the game. Now the Hurricanes have finally put 3 points up to make it 16-10. They will kick off now to Florida State. Huerta hits a knuckleball skittering downfield. It's bouncing around, goes into the end zone, and they will put it down there. And it will come out to the 20-yard line. The world's top male tennis superstars have been in Frankfurt, Germany this past week for the ATP Tour World Championship. Tomorrow, Pete Sampras will face Jim Courier in the final match of the game's premier event. Coverage begins 3 Eastern, 2 Central, and Pacific on ABC Sports.
So, Keith, if Patterson has a sprained knee, he will not be back in the ball game.
Right at time now, let me give you that. 9:48 to play. There's young Tom Patterson. Florida State owns the football. First down at the 20. The pace of the game is grinding. It's one of those games that everybody will be sore 2 weeks after this one. Ampley bouncing outside. Goes from nothing to almost 6 yards before Darren Smith brings him down.
What has happened in the second half, that the running game have taken over the football game. The defense has dominated the first half, both ways. The second half, nobody's throwing the ball. Everybody's starting to run the football, and we've only had 4 possessions. Florida State had 2 possessions, both of over 10 plays. Miami has had 2 possessions, both for 10 plays, and mainly on the ground.
Stephen McGuire for Miami and Ant Lee for Florida State. Big offensive feat. This is Lee again. First down if they give him where the ball went down. And it looks like they're going to. Lee, with adding that 4 yards to it, would have 73 yards on the ground and 48 yards. 51 yards before.
Florida State seems to own the second half. It's amazing that Mancini is back in there. He has not played in any of the games the last 3 or 4 weeks. Supposedly a torn ligament in his knee. Put the brace on and start practicing this week, and he's in there.
Clock running at 8:40. Belden gives it off to the first man, Edgar Bennett. 2 yards on the carry. Second down and 8 coming up. So Bobby Bowden and his people trying to take control of the clock. That puts Miami in a position where they may have to gamble. And if they do have to gamble, as 91, Darren Kine goes out and sprained ankle for the second time today. When you start having to gamble and blitz and double up, then that exposes something somewhere, some spot to a clever guy like a Weldon. We hurt that ankle back in the second quarter. Here's Weldon throwing the ball. That's a lateral. Now the man on the official on that side is waving it off as an incomplete.
Well, he was blowing his whistle.
That means since he had blown his whistle, the play is dead. But that was a lateral pass. It was thrown behind the receiver. Now watch it.
The ball is tipped.
Deflected. Okay.
All right, all bets are off.
Didn't see it.
Good call by the line.
But once he's blown that whistle, it's dead anyway.
That's true.
So put the ball on the 32, make it third down and 8. This where you run your ace in the hole before you throw your gimmick?
You're trying to pick up a first down, whatever your best play is. I don't think you're going to pull that gimmick out of this situation.
That is not caught. Weldon kind of threw that one into a crowd. Shannon Baker was kind of out in front, but there was plenty of coverage.
Keith, in the second half, as you look at the pass protection that Weldon enjoys here, the simple fact of the matter is that the defensive backs are better than the wide receivers in the second half. They're knocking the ball loose. They're covering man-to-man. They're not getting open.
Williams is back. Player just gets some heat. He just barely got it out. They went after him, and the ball is... He can run. He can run it. Batted it right to him. Now, the beanbag was thrown back there at the 40, and Kevin Williams winds up with about 2 more yards than that out to the 42. So now here's the Miami Hurricanes. They trail by 6 points. They own the football at their own 42-yard line. They've got 7 minutes and 20 seconds to play in this ballgame. And they are a homer-hitting club.
They have plenty of time left on this drive. They've got over 7 minutes. If they don't do anything on this drive, when they get it back the next time, they only have 1 timeout left.
Right. These guys love to go vertical. Question is when they have tried to do that today, there's been a whole lot of folks wearing garnet.
The whole concept here, as we look at this discussion, which I don't know what it's about, is that Mickey Andrew, the defensive coordinator for Florida State, has blitzed Torretta and the Miami offensive line.
Would you please put 15 seconds back on the clock?
That's what it was about.
15.
And what they're doing in blitzing him, they're not giving him time to throw the football.
That's why you haven't heard from Thomas and Copeland.
Exactly right.
That's what the AP Top 10 is doing so far today. Some later. Washington Huskies kind of got an eye cocked on this game, I would think, since they're third ranked in the country. They were involved in a defensive struggle themselves last week at Los Angeles.
I would think that the Huskies are pulling for Florida State, and then in 2 weeks, when the Seminoles go to Gainesville, they'd be pulling for the Gators.
First down and 10, that's the 42-yard line. Here comes what one would sense to be a very important possession in this ballgame. Torretta straight back. Heats on. Torretta's first man to hit him. 7 sacks. Here's Roger.
Keith, update you on that Kansas-Colorado game in the snow at Boulder. After the Jayhawks scored, Colorado came right back. The halfback option, Lamont Warren to Charles Johnson downfield. 48 yards on a touchdown pass, and the Buffaloes tied up at 10 in the snow out in Colorado.
Well, those guys, I think, all have frostbite. But I guess that's when you're young. Ball is back near the 37. Torretta Looking around, lobs it downfield for Bell. That's a good catch. Beautifully touched pass.
Great catch, huh? Coverage was there. Toretta finally threw this one away instead of taking the sack. He just threw it up high. Bell is 17. It's a slow block. Fuller, McCarvey, 26. He doesn't see the ball. And then Bell uses his height to go up and catch. That's a big boost, big play for the confidence of Gino Toretta.
First down for the Hurricanes at the Seminole 41. 6:10 to play in the game. McGuire. They put him out at the 33. Leon Fowler put a shoulder into it. McGuire has had a big game. Once again, Miami is down knocking on the door. McGuire totaling 119 yards.
The Seminole defense is not giving Gino Toretta time to throw the ball, but on the ground, the Hurricanes are getting something done. Look at McGuire.
Second down, long two. McGuire's got it. Runs right over the man. Takes it all the way down to the 15-yard line. I mean, he just flat ran over Leon Fowler.
Take a look at the offensive line now. Just a stretch. Everybody stays on the man in front of him. That creates a gap. Searcy, 73, got a cut block on the defensive end, which created a little crease. McGuire saw the crease, cut back, and a big play.
All right, they put the ball down at the 16. First down, Miami. Blitz coming. Toretta gets it off. It is incomplete. It was intended for Lamar Thomas.
If he would have had that ball down where Thomas could have caught it, Buckley would have intercepted.
Terrell's right there. This is the sixth straight time that Miami has been able to get inside the 35-yard line of Florida State. But so far, in those 6 possessions, only 3 points. Their touchdown came the very first possession of the ball game. McGuire, whoa, he ran into number 55, Marvin Jones. I thought he stopped rather abruptly the way he's been running over people. That's why it's Mr. Jones.
They've been blocking Marvin Jones pretty well in the second half.
He got 3. It's third down.
Down has taken away the big play offense of Miami and forced them to run the football.
This is a very long 6, close to 7 yards. Toretta's pass. Kevin Williams fell down. Richard Toes was sort of looking around to see if there was a yellow flag coming. The coverage are Knight.
It's Knight, 13.
Knight, yeah.
The coverage is there. The route isn't that good. He rounds it off. You can't throw a ball out there. Knight may cut in front of it. Canes are going for it on 4th down.
16-10 ball game. And on 4th down, the Canes are going for the bundle. Toretta back quick. Lets it go. Pass is complete. Pass is caught. Pass is good for a first down and goal to go at the 3-yard line to Horace Copeland. That's his first catch of the day.
Top of the screen, Copeland on Buckley. Is that a big catch or what? First catch of the day. Buckley tries to pull him back. No blitz this time. Quick passing. Plenty of time to throw it.
So on 1st and goal, here's McGuire back in the ball game. He has it. Maybe a yard from the 3 to the 2. And it'll bring up 2nd down and goal, and the time so precious now at 4 minutes. Florida State took the lead in the 2nd quarter. Built it to 16-7. Miami cut it to 16-10. And now they're threatening to regain the lead. McGuire, a half a yard. Nothing fancy here. Just plain old jawbone football.
It's interesting that these two teams came into the ball game, both big-time offensive powerhouses. It's got down to a defensive struggle where both teams are running the football.
It is 3rd down. They're at least a yard and a half, close to 2 yards away from the goal line. With Jones in the backfield. Larry Jones. He has it. He's got a touchdown. Miami has scored. your snap. There's backup snapper. Snap's all right. The kick by Huerta is good. Tom Patterson was the snapper. He went out, you saw, with a strained knee. Medeiros does this backup snapping. It wasn't terribly clean, but it was well handled by the holder and put in the air by Huerta good. And Miami leads 17-16.
It's been a long day. A lot of guys fighting, scratching. It all comes down to who wants it the most. It's not the white paint, it's the yellow line for the touchdown.
Well, McGuire does most of the heavy head knocking. And what got down the case is they needed the fresh legs of Jones, and he stuck it in the end zone. You got 3 minutes and 1 second to play in the game now.
Well, take a look at the left side of the offensive line. 72 is Cristobal. 17 is Coleman Bell. Just enough to get him in.
All right, Miami with a 1-point lead will kick it off now, leading 17-16. Those are the games that are coming up. This one is running long. We've got 3 minutes to play as number 1 Florida State now trails number 2 Miami by a point. Tiger McMillan and Terrell Buckley are back for Florida State. Huerta will kick it off. Wilt. No return of this one. Way back into the end zone, and Florida State will go to work. First down at the 20.
If you take a look at the scoring drive of Miami, another 11-play drive at 3 drives in the second half, all over 10 plays. But, Keith, it gets down to this. 3 minutes to play. Number 1 against number 2. Number 1 is behind. You got Casey Weldon, probably the best quarterback in the country, who is in contention for a big trophy, the Heisman Trophy, best player. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
All they need is 3. Their history in place kicking has not been pronounced. Weldon coming to the ball, 13 of 21 for 176 yards. His pass is away to the sideline, and it's close to a first down. Depends on where they put him up.
Here's a look at what Miami has done in the second half with the football. They had 8 possessions in the first half. Never had more than 10 plays in any position. In fact, didn't have any 10 plays. Second half, all 3 possessions, at least 10 plays.
McCorvey has become the big play man for them now. He made that catch for 9 yards. It's second down and 1. Give it to Ant Lee, and he cuts back in to pick up the first down up at the 33. They'll move the team and stop the clock at 2:49. In timeouts, Florida State has 2. Casey Weldon looking to the sidelines. They wind the clock on him. Now he's got to get his team up to the line in a hurry and get it going. 2:40 to play in the game. They trail by 1. Weldon's pass again to the sideline. It is caught at the 44-yard line by Eric Terrell. Almost slipped away. There just wasn't room for him to make the turn.
One of the favorite plays of FSU, high formation, tight end down the middle, and the wide receiver runs it out. McNeil, 47, had some ideas about going for the interception.
First down at the 44 for Florida State. Weldon now 15 of 23, 196 yards. They got him back at the 40. Nobody available. That's 5 sacks by the Miami defenders today.
Well, we just showed last replay how McNeil, the left corner, was trying for the interception. That time, the receiver was running it out and up, trying for the home run.
Loss of 3 yards on the play. Time now becomes the crucial factor here. That and Florida State's desire to move the ball. We have 2 minutes and 18 seconds to play. Weldon on that sack lost 3 yards. They're looking at second down and 13 from their own 41. That's Edgar Bennett. And Bennett moves it up to the 47. Looks like he might be able to pop outside, but Jesse Armstead penetrated some of the blocking. None of those games have started yet.
They've just started, Keith, and there's no score in any of them. Yep. But the critical thing here is a 4-down area for Florida State. They need to pick up, 7 yards in the next 2 plays. They'll go for it on 4th down, obviously, if they don't make it here.
Now we go inside 2 minutes. And it's 3rd down and 7. Number 1 straight by a point. They don't have it yet. Edgar Bennett reaching for it to the 46-yard line of Miami. Ryan McNeil trying to hold him. It's close.
Well, he went out of bounds, but I couldn't see from the players over here on the near sideline. Big effort.
Precious time is ticking away here.
It'll be fourth down in about half a yard.
Play very, very, very slow coming in from the sidelines, and it's going to force Florida State to spend their last timeout. They wasted 30 seconds and then finally called timeout. You got a minute 15 to play in the game. About the Seminoles. They have no timeouts remaining.
Bobby Bowden has got a timeout here, Keith. A lot of time for him to think. He's known for doing some things at different times that may surprise you. He may put on a play. It's 4th and 1. He may put on a play, a big play, a short yardage, run it into the line, fake it, and try to throw something deep. He may allow Casey Weldon to come up to the line of scrimmage and see if that play is good. If it's good, they may run it. If it's not good and Miami's playing deep, he'll say, all right, we're going to run this other play. We'll check to it and just pick up the first down.
You better be right. There won't be a second chance.
Well, he's been a freewheeler for a long time. It looks like Miami is lining up deep. They'll probably run something to pick it up.
They only need about a half a yard. They give it to Bennett. Bennett bounces off the pile. He's still going and is finally thrown down around the 40-yard line. So that'll be a first down for the Seminoles. Clock stopped with the chains removed. That used 5 seconds. Jerry Thomas has now started to warm up. Dan Mowry has been warming up for Florida State. And the man hurt is Rusty Medeiros for Miami. Medeiros, who has been a very prominent figure today in the defensive effort by the Miami Hurricanes. That's Mowry 9. Thomas is 15.
Mowry was the field goal kicker earlier in the year. Missed a whole bunch of extra points, some field goals. In fact, Bowden says, I don't know what we'll do because that was the weakest area of our team if and when we get into a close ball game. Well, they're in one now, and Mowry kicks the long ones and Thomas the shorter ones.
With as much pressure as you have in this ball game, but right now you need a steel stomach to go out there. And Rusty Medeiros from the Ozarks is going to have to leave. It looked like they might have been working on his kick. Couldn't tell, but he's obviously in no condition to stay in the ball game.
Big loss for the Hurricanes. He is their best defensive lineman.
The placement of the ball is just short of the 40. The time remaining is a minute 10. Florida State does not have a timeout remaining. Officially, this will be the 40 because it's in between the hash mark and the yard stripe. Terrell, McCorvey, and Baker, the wideout people. Weldon back, a lot of time. Gets it away to the side. The pass is caught over there by Edgar Bennett, and Bennett goes out of bounds at the 33, close to the 32-yard line. Looking back into a bright sun to make that catch.
Weldon was looking downfield. Bennett was his outlet. Nothing down there, so he just threw it out, and Bennett did get out of bounds. It's a dangerous pass. You got to make sure there's no DBs in between you. We got the law over there. We got officials over there. We got coaches.
They put it on the 33, where it is second down and 3. A minute 4. Pass down the middle is incomplete. Intended for Lonnie Johnson, the tight end. I thought for a minute you were going to have a hitch and go out here in this far corner with number 7, Terrell, because he ran the hitch and then didn't go. And in hindsight, when he looks at the game, he had it. It opened up for him. One minute. Thomas and Mowry are the place kickers. Number 1, Trejos. Number 2 by a point. Weldon's pass is away for Terrell. He's in the end zone. He's got a penalty flag. There's a penalty flag. Ryan McNeil was defending.
College football, it is marked off from the line of scrimmage, not down near the goal line.
It'll be a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Defensive pass interference. First down.
Well, this is the setup you were looking at a little earlier and talking about. That's legal.
That's not.
That is not.
He mugged it. He caught it.
Terrell, the man you were talking about a play earlier, having beaten O'Neal. That word got back to Bowden, and he got him by him again. Good call.
It is a first down for Florida State. The ball is at the Miami 18-yard line. 53 seconds to play in the game. They are now definitely in field goal range.
Ball was right on target, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Well, you try to score. You try to score safely. You don't take any big chances. But he's got to remember, his field goal kickers have been his problem all year.
Ampley slipping and sliding and will get a couple of yards to the 16, and that's all. As Jesse Armstead takes him down.
You know, even though Bowden has made 3 field goals today, I'm sure he still feels a little bit insecure in sending a young man out there in a big game like this to win it when the national championship may be on the line.
Clock is running and coming up on 35 seconds. Weldon runs up behind the center. Looks like he wants to throw this ball on the ground, and he does. Now he's got 29 seconds. Now he's looking to 3rd down and 9, but at least he'll have a chance to get a play from the sideline. This absolutely drives me crazy. I don't know why that quarterback can't just go ahead and call the play. How much time is wasted? Barry Thomas is number 15. He figures to be the man that gets the call.
All right, you got 29 seconds left, Keith. He is going to have to throw this ball. Oh, they're going to kick it now. Okay. They're kicking it on 3rd down.
Who's out there? Thomas or Maurer?
Thomas.
8 of 9 in his field goals. His long one, 40. This will be a 34-yard try, and this is for a win. This could be for a national championship. It's up. Yes, that's to the right. Miami players are all over the field. They're going to be penalized for it, but so what? I'm sure it's their attitude.